So today I am at Freestone Park, and I've got my dog with me. You can hear him back there. My plan today is to sketch out this horizon line and wait for the sunset and then try to kind of like watercolor in the sunset. I keep having this plan and this plan hasn't worked out yet, so we're going to try it again today. I am going to use just black Micron pen to do the silhouettes of all these trees and things. So I've got the silhouette in here, and I kind of changed it a little bit, you know, to make it fit. I kind of crammed things together a little bit. And there was a duck that came walking through, so I drew the duck. So now I'm just waiting for the sunset to have good colors. So I might just take the dog on a walk and kind of take a picture of the sunset at some point and then use that for the colors. Well, the sunset's kind of a dud, to be honest. So I think what I might do is take the colors from another sunset that I photographed like a week ago and use that as the colors. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do, because I mean, this is just not very interesting at all now, is it? Okay, let's talk about what we've got going on here. So, what I ended up doing. So I looked at that other photo that I had taken that I was going to use for inspiration for the background, and I didn't really like it any better either. I didn't think it was gonna work well for this scene. So I went back to the original photo I had taken of the scene, and there was one little streaky cloud that had turned pink in the scene. And then there were some streaky clouds in the background that weren't substantial enough to also turn pink. So I decided what I would do is kind of paint in that original one, make it pinker, and then pretend like the other clouds that had been there were more substantial clouds so that they would pink up that pink light like they tend to in the sunset. So this is kind of like an enhanced version of what was already there. I like it. I feel like the clouds have some luminance. You know, I feel like if I had been working from a real scene that really looked like that, I could probably enhance it and add more to it. But I just kind of need to see what that looks like in order to be able to do it. You know, the downside about photographing something like this and using it later, like I have a lot of sunset pictures, okay, with these kinds of scenes. But the downside is that very frequently I've noticed on phone cameras that the pinks and the reds oftentimes don't come through properly. So then you're still trying to do it from memory anyway. And I feel like these clouds need like a little bit more of a something, and I can't decide what it is at this point. And I think, you know, using the masking fluid to kind of put them in there kind of helped. Let's see, I like how that duck turned out, actually. I was really iffy about him for a while. But I think it finally worked out after my like 4,000th layer of different watercolors trying to darken it up here. This is where when you're using really cheap watercolors, I think this is where it really starts to make a difference, because it just takes a lot to create anything that's dark. So I actually bought some nicer watercolors that I'm going to reward myself after Plein Airpril is done and allow myself to actually use. So I'm kind of excited about that. Yeah, so I think this actually, you know, this does feel like a sunset I have definitely seen before. And I like, you know, how this grass, you can still see a little bit of the green. That was kind of what it really looked like in person. So that was a fun one. It's one I'd probably like to try to do again, and try some different things on it next time.